Now, I don't want to underestimate some other teams that I didn't include in this list, so I'll just mention a few honorable mentions. The Cleveland Cavaliers, they still are weak at that small forward position. Last season in the playoffs, the Knicks kind of killed them. With Isaac Okoro, he couldn't not keep Jalen Brunson in front of him, which caused the Cavs defense to collapse other players, and they pretty much got cooked. And then Mitch also killed them because of that collapse. We seen other players had to recover and kind of double team Brunson. That allowed Mitchell to get a bunch of offensive rebounds. So they really still didn't fix that issue. Even though they got shooters like Max Strus and Yang, they still can't defend laterally like that. So that small forward position is still questionable, and the Cavs were kind of limited in what moves they could make this offseason due to the Donovan Mitchell trade. But with the Cavaliers, I'm still not understanding what the media sees in this team. They still have them ranked higher than the Knicks, even though they still haven't addressed major issues that they have on their roster. Their bench scoring, that small forward position, they need somebody to really defend at that position. And the only thing they pretty much addressed was the shooters. That coin, it really has hamstrung this team on what they could do. They can't even trade a draft pick until 2024 offseason. But they do have Donovan Mitchell, but I still have the Cavs in the same position as last year. Because Donovan Mitchell, another first round exit, you can't be living off the Westbrook name all these years. He eliminated Westbrook from the playoffs years ago, and that was it. What has he done recently? But pretty much the Cavs just add a bunch of three-point shooters. And Max Strus wasn't even shooting all that last year until the playoffs. That's when he started shooting better. But they did add better shooters than what they had, but I'm still not seeing it with the Cavs. My last honorable mention is the Atlanta Hawks, and they've pretty much brought back the same team as last year. They got rid of a few guys like John Collins. That was pretty much a salary dump. They didn't want to be over the tax. And they signed Patty Mills, which that's not a bad signing for them. But the thing about the Hawks, they have way too many guards that just don't play defense. So when the Knicks play against some guys like Quickly, DiVincenzo, Brunson, RJ, they should all be able to cook against these guys because they don't really play defense. They actually don't have any kind of guard that specializes and just locks players down. DeJounte Murray, from time to time, he has that reputation, but it's sporadic. It's not really what people think it is. But when you put those guys next to Trae Young, that makes it even worse. So this team, nearly from night to night, they have to be perfect on offense, especially if they want to be one of the top teams of the Eastern Conference. But the fact that in the past they have proven in big key moments that they could come up big, that's why I have them under honorable mentions. And with that new head coach that they have, Quinn Snyder, because the Atlanta Hawks, best believe, they're starting to take a different direction, especially with this Trae Young almost holding this franchise hostage. They've hired a kind of no-nonsense coach that'll hold them accountable, especially for him fighting through screens and actually playing some fucking defense. But this team is going to stay way below the luxury tax line. They're going to have a room to sign other players, but for now, they're pretty much bringing back the same team, which is a bunch of wings that really can't defend along with Trae Young, and their best defenders are their centers. The center coming off their bench and their starter. Those are pretty much their two best defenders, and those guys can't even be on the court at the same time. So just like the Cavs, I pretty much have them in that honorable mention. So overall, this Eastern Conference is still wide open, but as we see with the Celtics and the Bucks, that even the top dogs of the East are going to have to kowtow to this new CBA, and we're going to see how long guys' championship windows even last. So in the meantime, the Knicks, the only thing they could do right now is continue developing Mitch, Grimes, RJ, and Quickly, and they got to play the patient waiting game for waiting for the perfect opportunity for a player that fits into our culture and could take us to that next level. Again, a player that fits into our culture. Not any superstar can just come to New York anymore. We have a culture that's established. It's a certain kind of player.